Hello and welcome back to Show Studio, where today we are going to see the Louis Vuitton show. We're not going to see it quite yet because, as we can see by looking at the picture, the fashion people are having their lunches still, but they will eventually arrive after coffee. But whilst we're waiting for them, we're going to have a general chat. But first of all, I would like to ask my team to tell us who they are, why they're here, and what they are. We'll start at that end this time.
Richard Gray, and I'm the Executive Fashion Director of Sunday Times Style.
I'm Tozer, I'm a photographer and a filmmaker.
And I'm Tafari, Hinds, singer, songwriter, and musician, and I'm very important, and they spend a lot of money to fly me in today for this.
I'm Jeremy Healy, I'm a DJ, I do loads and loads of fashion shows, which is why I'm here.
Great, well you can see we've got quite a lively little group here. And I'm just going to start by asking them, what are your expectations? Jez, what are you expecting?
I think we can expect something which is heavily referenced from a fabulous trip somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Yeah.
in terms of form, I would have no idea. But I think the wonderful thing about Kim is that he is very much one of those people that embraces life, and he's been given the freedom to actually explore many areas of the globe and actually use that to influence his collections in a way that we don't often see. I mean, John Galliano used to do that a fair amount, but
Yes,
I think Kim has been given the freedom to do that, and I think he is going to give us something very exciting.
I think we should talk a little bit about Kim, because this is really a very important moment for him, isn't it? You know, that here he is, and as you say, he's been given carte blanche, presumably, you know. I think there's
It feels that way.
Yeah, I'm sure there's no, at this point, there'll be no restrictions at all on how much money you can spend, within reason. What do you think?
The only restrictions will be luggage, and there'll have to be a certain percentage of handhelds and backpacks and travel things going down that catwalk. I mean, that's let's not pretend that Louis Vuitton doesn't take any money on luggage, because that's what it makes its money on. Ready to wear is secondary, but it still sells. I mean, Kim's in a good position where he also sells his ready to wear, unlike other luggage houses
Who just live off the luggage.
who don't.
Yes.
Naming no names.
Why not?
Because I've got advertising to think of, Colin.
All right, well, yes, you have a job.
Yes, indeed.
We understand this completely. We're all constrained in one way.
Yeah.
Tafari, what about you? What are you expecting?
Oh, Tafari. Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
It's today.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, we're here doing a panel.
I'm sorry for telling you to sleep so far. I was quite interested in what they were saying. Okay, Superstar, tell us.
Well, I like to think of it as a blank canvas. I really have no expectation more than I think Kim will definitely pull something amazing out of the bag, you know. I do have a couple of mates in the show, you know, models.
Oh, do you? Right.
Yeah, they've been really, one of them, Andrew Captain, very, very excited. He did a fit-in, saw some of the stuff and wouldn't reveal. But based on what I've heard so far, you know, it should be something really, really splendid. So, yeah.
Does anyone know where he's been travelling?
No, I mean he never says. I mean normally he's quite naughty on Facebook, and he says things
But
that he really
Instagram.
shouldn't have. And Instagram,
Gives
but
you false
I've not seen
clues.
anything. I mean it's quite a good game actually to try and guess
Did
where
he
he's been.
not- did
It
he
was
not have a
Bhutan, wasn't it,
thing
last for autumn winter 13? I think it
Himalayas.
was Himalayas. Yeah.
Himalayas, yeah.
Don't know where it is.
One of
this
the
time.
cuffs were made out of stone, some
From Everest
From
or
Everest,
something.
yeah. It's like, no, that's amazing.
How colourful do we think it'll be?
Oh.
Why can't you tell us just a little, coded, so that we can't understand perhaps, but the audience will understand. They'd be able to say, guess where we heard it first. We could become even more famous.
Well, I
And
really,
up your fee for next time.
I
That's
really
right.
can't give it away. I really can't give it away. But so far, the boys were pretty excited.
Good.
Like, yeah.
Kim's interesting because I'll talk about fashion because Kim's interesting because he works at a cross current of streetwear and couture. So he's really clever because he takes classic sportswear shapes, let's say for example a blouson jacket, and will manipulate that in other fabrics, i.e. crocodile. So he combines these two skill sets and he does it incredibly well. I think that's very interesting about Kim.
Right. Where do you think his heart is?
streetwear.
Street.
However, his tailoring is absolutely immaculate. Obviously, he came from Dunhill before he went to Vuitton, and that kid can cut a jacket like no other. You know, he understands simple things, which many, you know, he's only 30s. I mean, many of these designers don't understand how to pitch a pant properly. A great 15-inch bottom, the weight's here so it sits perfectly on the shoe, the crease is here, you know, that takes you in. Many young designers don't know how to do that, but Kim does. He has the skills of a pattern cutter and somebody who sees street and what's around him and around the world. He goes on great voyages just like John did at Dior, and he brings it all back into a huge Magimix and offers it up for thousands and thousands of pounds. No,
and I think he's
he's
also got a very interesting kind of understanding and integrity of material. You know, the way he sources entire skins to make a jacket from, I think it's just quite incredible. And obviously he's got the kind of the funds and the access to do that. But I think a lot of people in this position don't go to those lengths to actually create a garment out of one skin, for instance.
I interviewed him the other week. Let me tell you this because you'll like it.
Let's hear Jeremy.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
I'm being very quiet.
You've been too quiet. This worries me.
Wake up.
It worries me.
Well, Kim Jones, I met him maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd never met him before. And we had a wild night out, and he was really, really fun. And he gave me a suit, and I'd never met him before in my life. And he said, "Have this suit." And I phoned him up the next day. I said, "You're a bit drunk. Do you want the suit back?" And he said, no, keep it. It was really sweet. It was really nice. Yeah. And he sent me all these voguing videos. So I think his heart is actually in a New York disco full of transvestites.
Yeah. Well, he's I've been
lovely
to
guy. He's
I've
really
been to
cool
a Menswear Paris show. Obviously, he used to have his own label, Kim Jones, and he showed in Paris. And a voguer came down the catwalk in his clothes, and then the boys walked around him. Incredible moment. Really captured that Paris is burning thing that was in the air at the moment and refuses to go away in the East End. He's good like that.
I do also think he's not out of touch with like what's going around with like generations below him and above him. Like I really think he's in tune with like people and interested in people, you know. And because I met him a few times, and you know, we would just sit and talk about stories, like I said, from like his experience being in Paris, around people within that scene, and you can tell like he put all that love and energy into his work, like into his collection. You know, the way he interact with, you know, his friends, models, everything, just like a part of his whole big bubble of just like love, and it goes into the work he does.
Yes, I also think that he is very typical of young London designers. They do tend to keep their feet on the ground, most of them. Whereas, of course, others in Paris, we will mention no names, but others in Paris have such prima donnas. It's unbelievable. And the demands they make on everybody are fantastic until suddenly, we're saying goodbye, and they're surprised. You know, they've cost an ancient firm which has people in it who know and have forgotten, in fact, things that they'll never know. They cost them a fortune. Nothing sells, but they're being important. I'll tell you what I do, what I believe in this. I blame French Vogue. They take non-entities and make them heroes. Not like the Sunday Times here in London.
No, of course.
We take heroes and make them into non-entities.
That's
a completely different story. So, no, I think he's absolutely... I've met him a couple of times, and I think he's great because he's totally grounded and rounded. He really is. You know, he knows who he is, he knows where he's come from, and he knows what he can do and everything. And I think that's
very loyal.
And
he's very, very loyal.
I've never met him, but I have two
you'd love him.
people that are very, very close to my heart who are very, very close to him, and
he
does not forget his friends.
It's very, very, very loyal, and that's the thing. Being from a model into music, I realise like fashion does have this cutthroat thing about it, but you have to be loyal. And I've learned from those that like you meet those people and you still see them with like the friends he has from like back in the days. They're all still involved with what he's doing.
He pays for a lot of them to go to a show in Paris and stay at his house.
They do.
It's very true.
Yes, and I think a lot of it is St. Martin's. I don't buy into the idea that St. Martin's is the best college in the world by any means, and I certainly don't think that the products are necessarily the best products.
Is it anything
in the
to do
world.
with the fact that
But
you're a
what I
professor of
think-
London College of Fashion?
but
Do you
what-
think?
what?
Is it anything to do with the fact that you're a professor of London College of Fashion?
No, because I'm also a professor at the Royal College of Art. In fact, I'm a senior fellow at the Royal College of
Right.
Art, but I don't sort of
Okay.
push them.
Break it up.
No, I'm
Play nicely.
No, what I was going to say was what they do get at St Martin's, because they're in an adverse situation with people sort of treating them as if they were dirt, they get this fantastic sort of camaraderie, and it goes right through
Yeah.
the rest of their working life, and I really think that's where it comes from.
But it's funny because Kim is one of the ones who's enormously successful from his era, but is
Yes.
very
he's-
humble and
Yes.
very
Absolutely.
low key.
Absolutely.
Out of
Yeah.
all of them, really, he's
Yes.
it's not I am.
I don't know if I should say this, but I think
Go on, say it.
he should I say it? Well,
Yeah.
he was he's doing stuff with Kanye West. At the moment, I don't know if anyone knows that. Like, I should.
They
should
do
I-
No,
now.
go on, go on. You've
They
said
do
it
now.
Okay, so
What's he
They do
doing?
now. Go on, go on.
What's he doing?
What stuff is he doing?
Well, whatever he's doing with Mr. West, as he helps him out with various things, and he wouldn't charge him a penny. He said, "I'd do it for you for free, and I would not charge you any money at all."
That's nice.
Yeah.
We're starting.
Yes.
Here we go. Notice
Bag
the-
count is 1.
Yeah,
Bag
just
count.
notice the emphasis on the bag. Yeah, straight in on it.
I think Kim, I think it's definitely worth noting that Kim works with, but by no means exclusively, modern classics.
Yes.
So he'll take a classic piece
Yeah.
and he'll give it a
And
twist.
Give it a twist, like that thing on the back.
See, that's the logo that we're seeing more of, and we saw it on the jeans, and I think it's repeated on the jeans every
Right.
season.
Any comments, Jeremy, so far?
I was expecting something a lot wilder. I don't know
Well,
why we.
At the moment, it's very relaxed,
I was
isn't
too,
it?
actually. Yeah.
Even suburban, perhaps.
There's something very uptown New York.
I think it's gonna
At
break
the
into
moment.
something else.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I love those trousers.
I
That
love
looks
all
like a-
these checks.
A classic mod 15-inch bottom on the trouser.
The bags look a bit gratuitous, don't they? I'm not sure that they're quite in the mood of the
Well,
collection.
it's always difficult with bags. Karine Reitfeld, when she was at French Vogue, got into real trouble when she said that she hates to see the models carry
Yes,
handbags. She thinks it
I
looks
remember that.
old-fashioned, and there was a big hoo-ha. You can imagine with the advertisers.
Quite.
But I don't think they look out of place. I mean, I know what you mean because they're in complete contrast with the clothes. He's not really used this colour leather
It's
before.
a lovely tan.
It's like an oak.
I
isn't
love
it?
that.
Oh, that's really
butcher's,
cool.
I really
equal
like the
stripe.
bags.
That-
I
think
this
they're
is
great. Yeah.
I love the design.
And the zip front jacket, which is the new sweatshirt, we could argue. I think I might have written that the other day.
I think you did. Stop stealing your own script.
I think those plaids look very 50s Ivy League.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very American.
As,
Yeah.
as with that first jacket that came
Indeed,
out with the,
absolutely.
Yeah. So where's he been?
That's pretty cool.
Comment? Anything to say?
Honestly, that's really cool. I like the.
It's an interesting choice of music. Jeremy, what do you think?
REM. Not one of my favourites,
Oh,
I'm
dear.
afraid.
Oh, so there's a classic. I shouldn't mention another house, but I will. The old Hermes trick of tying your neck scarf around your Birkin bag and hanging it up. It's a very bourgeois Parisian way to
Well, I think
dress
this
a bag.
is quite bourgeois, actually.
There are new shapes of bags here. Remember, in the audience, you have to think about who's there. You've got the buyers and you've got the press. You've also got the buyers and press who work for, or consult with various high street brands who are rapidly sketching these shape bags now.
Yeah, but I mean, a little square bag, which is like a sort of Sainsbury's wine carrier, isn't necessarily the most practical of
Maybe Vuitton are going to launch wine.
What?
Maybe Vuitton are going to launch wine.
Maybe, or who knows?
Oh, I like that. I like that jacket.
That's very nice.
Really
isn't it?
nice. It is very American. It's almost becoming sort of Northwest now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably went to.
It's almost a bit Twin Peaks in there as well.
Very earthy.
Sort of
colours.
mounty.
But it's
Yeah,
bearing,
mountain.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's bearing out what we said before it started, that he manages what you said, which is that he manages to meld things together to make quite a distinctive look, reminiscent of other looks, but quite distinctive to himself.
On a rather pretentious styling tip as well.
Is that a jumpsuit?
Possibly. If you notice belts are hanging down, we're seeing a lot of this. We saw in Raf last season and Prada a rather dishevelled styling, rather French déshabillé. I've just thrown things on. I'm going from one place to the other. And in menswear, it's less neat in how to dress than it used to be. So this Swedish aesthetic of everything being very neat. Styling, belts are hanging down, collars are out, one's in, shirt tails are out. It's all a bit messed up.
But not too messed up.
No.
It's still very
look
bourgeois.
Good. Yes, absolutely.
I think it's very middle class, actually. Very safe.
You've got to think about who can afford these clothes, Colin. It's not
That's
kids.
also true.
It's not kids.
That is very true.
But it all feels very American, very kind of 50s referenced American.
I say I hate bow ties. It's the most affected way to dress.
What is?
Bow ties. I can't stand them. Sorry, Kim.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that someone who's meant to be impartial has such entrenched prejudices.
How's that emphasising looking?
There are those who might...
I just wear it without the bow tie.
There are those who might think that might affect your judgment as a fashion seer, but still.
Lovely cut on that jacket coming down here.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
I noticed a new thing where the suits catch you at the ankle now, the trousers. There's no more cuffs, isn't it? Just like at the
absolutely.
ankles. It's quite cool. I did say that to a mate.
Nice sheer shirt under there as well.
Yeah, that's my
It's
friend.
probably going to sell by the bucket though,
that
isn't it?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just easy to wear. It's...
Well, yes and no. I mean, how much do you reckon a dinner jacket would be from there, Richard? With that label?
A lot, 2.5, 3, something like that. Dependent on fabric. His fabrics are second to none.
So that pushes it up.
Really? I thought that was good.
Really good.
Yeah.
I like the shorts and the zip-up jackets. It's really nice, wasn't
It's
it?
a good shape.
Yeah. I was looking through the papers the other day and I saw a photograph of Johnny Depp and Tom Cruise next to each other, and it made me just realise like men can be cool again. Like this kind of the way they looked, like the shirts, the blazers. I always think female on the catwalk always or red carpets always get to wear these amazing gowns and dresses, and the guys look dull behind them. And I think it's about time the men come forward and just look amazing.
Well, they
I think
have
the silhouette,
opportunities, they just don't take them. Men are so frightened. Men are so frightened.
I think the silhouettes are they're confident, they're quite classical, a lot of them, and they're quite confident. I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
There's
gonna
nothing
make,
that's trying to be some. You know, it's very confident, the silhouette.
Yeah, I think certainly you don't get any sense of strain.
Yeah.
Things have been put together because they're right together.
Yeah.
And with the
Yes.
exception of some of the
It's
bags.
considered.
They are.
Yeah.
Considered
yes,
and confident.
yes.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to make the
But of course
horses
he's
bolt.
been going a fair... I was thinking when we were watching there, how long has he been
2011, it was his. He was.
No,
it was
no, right
announced.
from the beginning.
Oh God!
been
I mean,
going.
I've got stuff from his first collection, second collection.
10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, we missed it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, there is.
What was he wearing? Did we see?
T-shirt,
something navy.
jeans.
I always like to see what
T-shirt
they're
and
wearing.
jeans.
Very, very low key. Yeah.
T-shirt and jeans. Would
You
you
can
like to question? Would you like to see your prime minister like wearing like on his dinner party? You know, wearing something really cool like one of these like suits.
Answer, I wouldn't like to see my Prime Minister at all. Whether he's naked or...
I was at a party last Christmas.
Of course you were.
And David Cameron was there, and he actually had jeans on with the jumper and the shirt tucked into the jeans. It was cold, but it wasn't a good look. I was crying.
Bless him.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Fashion advice from Sam.
yeah.
Do that?
I mean, I would love to see the prime ministers as men, because obviously people look up to these guys. You see them in the till every day. They're involved in your media. They need to come forward and just looking appealing sometime and just like stop this boring, dull thing. And
Well,
just
the problem is they've passed the fashion age, haven't they? In their
But they haven't
figures.
passed the style age.
Yeah.
No, you can still have style, but not fashion. I mean, they would look ridiculous.
I mean, Obama does his like, okay, you know, I'm kind of cool.
Well,
you know,
he's very slim.
yeah,
That makes a big difference.
yeah, but it'd be nice to see Cameron if he's like on and off his politics stuff, going to a dinner thing, you're wearing like a Louis Vuitton suit as your prime minister. That would look cool. That would send a good message to
Well,
young,
preferably
you know, to men.
he'd be in British designers. If he
Yeah,
was-
yeah, British designer.
I
yeah.
would think almost certainly it's Anderson and Shepherd
yeah,
for him.
yeah.
I don't know why.
Which
I say, I
Gill's
just
doing
think-
now? Is Gill
I'm
involved
sorry?
with Anderson and Shepherd? Gill, isn't he involved with Anderson and
I
Shepherd?
don't know.
Anyway, this is private conversation. Sorry, we must talk about Vuitton.
Right, do we have the facilities to see them one by one now or not?
I'll check.
Because it'd be quite interesting to go in on ones that we found exciting.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't find it exciting. I found it satisfying, aesthetically
Yeah.
satisfying.
What? Okay, this is interesting. With your critical faculty, do you think that's good or do you think that's bad? Because is there something about a relaxed silhouette like that with things to wear that is actually far more interesting than things that jump off the catwalk?
Well, it depends on whether you're a buyer.
Yeah.
You know, I look at it all in a very dispassionate way because I couldn't wear any of it. So I look at Mirov Kersham, for example, and think this is utterly fabulous. But I'm not thinking, well, what could I pick out of that to wear? Because it would be grotesque. And it's much the same here because I frankly wouldn't pay these prices, no matter how marvellous it made me look. I don't care that much about how I look. So it's a difficult one to answer.
Yeah.
But I think what I think is very interesting is menswear offers a lot more choices than women's wear. I think women's wear is so incredibly boring at the moment. It's all going wrong. Who keeps pinging? What is that pinging noise?
It's
Did
not
I
me,
bring
Colin.
Oh,
I went
think
before
it
I
could be
came
me.
on.
I think it could be my telephone. Well, not to worry. I just think that the vitality is with menswear, and I like to think that menswear might lead men into being a little bolder altogether.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because those of us who are in or around the fashion or music business knows that there are lots of people with fabulous personalities, characters, and they dress accordingly. But if you go to Exeter or
Sorry, Exeter.
Preston or somewhere like
Could have
that,
said Doncaster.
well, show me not. Should
Yeah,
we say
yeah, it's
Doncaster?
true.
Yeah. You know, it's a different story.
It's
And it's high time. I blame the footballers because they're always too well dressed in beautiful suits. You know, when they're all lined up.
the menswear market's the one to watch, and
It's
it's
the
the
one
one
that's
that
growing.
all the buyers
Oh, yes.
are looking at. Because women's
Yes.
wear will continue to grow, but it will continue to grow in the same, you know, within this structure here. Whereas menswear can go so many directions because it's yet to
Because
be
it's young. It
explored
doesn't
and yet to be
know.
travelled, and
Absolutely.
it has the most incredible, impeccable archive.
Yes.
But it
The
also
shapes
has
we
much
still
more
wear.
scope than women's wear.
Yeah,
Is it so much newer? There's
Yeah.
so much more scope for the places it can go.
Women's wear's turning my new bête noire, which is fashion is turning into shopping, which makes me furious. And in a way, I blame the online retailers, because the way, for example, say ASOS, for example, it will be a fluoro clutch, it will be a sticky outskirt, it will be a clumpy shoe, and everybody, you see pictures of kids on the street and everybody looks the same, all the girls look the same. That's shopping, that's not fashion. That's prescribed by online retailers.
But I think that's a much bigger political question.
Yeah.
I think the bigger political question is actually how much political resistance to style is there through clothes.
Yes.
But then again, people are forced to meet consumers' demand and try to make things sell. So no one is thinking, I'm going to wear something different from, I want to look different today. So I'm going to just get this piece of thing, even if it's a peacock on my shoulder, I'm going to wear it. But no one wants to do that. And that's, we want all to look the same. It's kind of like box uniform.
Yeah, I don't think men do. I don't think young men do. I think young men do have that adventurous feel.
Yeah, want to explore. Yeah.
But the real trouble is, even London clothes, which aren't particularly well made, we know this, they're as good as they are in Italy or indeed in America.
Well, the tailoring is,
even
of course, but not
all. Even London clothes are too expensive for the young kids who would lead things. Another thing, people on television, they all want to dress down and look like kids, so they wear sweatshirts and God knows what all.
Yeah.
They should be giving a lead,
Yeah.
I look like the cleaner today.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I don't know what I would say.
Rather fabulously dressed cleaner.
Necessarily say.
Pictures.
Right.
Oh.
But I think I think the other thing is that the market is so much quicker now. So people are actually pillaging archives and vintage and literally putting them straight on catwalks and straight into Topshop and everything else.
Yeah.
And I think what that means is that actually the people that genuinely reference and buy vintage clothing are actually becoming less interesting, because actually someone's bought that in Topshop and it looks exactly the same now.
Yeah.
I think what does sort of differentiate in menswear a lot is the colours, less than the shape variations, And I think that this has been a particularly subtle a palette that he's used with sort of bright bits of colour. And I think it's lovely. I'm into light grey at the moment, that sort of grey colour with white.
Westward.
With white, is it?
Yeah. Yes.
I think white and grey are lovely. Maybe it's because we live under those sort of skies. I don't know.
White and grey is good, isn't it? Navy and black, I'm heavily into at the moment.
I'm not so keen on that.
In a very old Yogi way.
I think navy and the right chestnut brown is a very cool.
I went to the last collection for Vuitton in Paris, and it was very colourful. All those colourful suits and and this one, I don't know if it's because it's a summer thing. What would you call this collection? Is it?
This is summer 14.
Summer 14. Yeah, summer 14.
So you think, a guy go out to a summer party, or young kids are graduating from school want to wear a suit. I think it's right what doing this kind of look, this kind of fierce kind of like tone, the short trousers, the grey, because the typical guy who's not like in fashion and understand it would probably buy into something like this and would like something like this.
Well, even just to go to work if he's got quite a good job, because there's been an awful lot of tailoring there, more tailoring than casual stuff.
I think that's nice though, because I think actually what's possibly more a traditional Kim silhouette is sort of become quite commonplace now.
That's right.
Yes, I think that's true.
And I think we've seen a lot of it this season, and it's sort of got to the point where actually this for me is a refreshing silhouette this season.
Yes.
Raf Simons always argues that the most divisive thing that a man can do is wear a suit, especially a young man.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting thought, I think.
What does he mean by device?
Well, as in kind of a tricksy and troublesome, and kind of divides opinion. Whereas, for example, a young man should be seen in sportswear or things influenced by the street, but a young man in a suit, I think you would question. Now, everybody tries to be on trend and do trend, but you put a young man in a suit, that's anti-trend. And he argues that that's very interesting.
Well, the suit could be the trend. Young men wearing a suit could also be a trend.
Well, it is now. I was speaking to Gordon Richardson, who's a design director at Topman, and he said that their suit sales are through the roof, and it's young kids who are buying them. Yeah. It's that narrow nip silhouette, the old Dior on now mod thing, but he says that young kids are buying suits and they're wearing them to go out, not necessarily with a tie. I mean,
with
it's
a
more,
t-shirt. Or
with a t-shirt. That's
well, it's
good.
very kind of Camden rock. It's very sort of top end of Camden rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think if you've got a really slim figure and long legs, a navy blue suit with narrow pants looks fabulous.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
What music would you put to this for a mood?
That's a good question.
If you had to sort of capture the mood of the clothes in a soundtrack, what would you put on it?
I don't really know. I mean, I thought that. I mean, it's been coloured already. We've done it with REM now, so it's kind of puts that straight in America, doesn't it? Whereas if it wasn't an very Americana record, we might have felt differently about seeing it. You know, because really, I mean, when we're looking at it now, it doesn't. That doesn't say America at all. That first image that we're looking at, does it? So I don't know. It's kind of.
I would have preferred something slightly older in the music.
Well, what?
You know, something more 50s or 60s rather than kind of 90s.
Yeah, interesting. I could see the Beach Boys being played to that. You know?
Yeah.
There you go.
They're a bit Beach Boy-y.
I'm not interviewing you, Jeremy, but when you said that music coloured that show, is very interesting how your mind works, because you mix sight and sound then, because you use colour with sound. It's a little side.
You're not
note there.
interviewing him.
No, I'm not, but it is very interesting.
Him, which is a very nice thing to do publicly. In front of cameras, I must say.
We think. I actually really like it now. I can imagine wanting a lot of the things in it, you know.
Well, I think
I
this
particularly like the shorts. I thought were really
I love the shorts, and I think that's a new thing, because guys always wear the shorts by the knees, and now the shorts are getting smaller and smaller.
Narrower.
So that's quite interesting.
I think this is refreshing as well. But I think there's so many shorts here this season, and it's sort of been going on for a couple of seasons.
Can I tell you, it'd be nice to see maybe the Man United team asked Kim to make them some shorts, all the players.
Yes,
shorts
that would be
like
great.
This. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's nothing difficult here, is there?
Yeah.
No.
So look at that. I know that's cool. I can see I'd rock that.
It's very subtle and discreet.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the colours even more.
I think the shoes are great. I might be investing some grey dollar on those shoes.
The open T-shirt with the thing coming around the neck is quite cool. It's really nice.
It's very Hamptons, isn't it?
See, there's your varsity.
Very
That
good.
reminds me
for
of
Vuitton.
That reminds me of like the edge.
Do you think that's suede or...
Isn't
or,
it?
Sorry. Do you think that's suede or leather or what is it? Wool?
I can't tell.
That looks like
When we
leather.
saw it close up, I couldn't decide what it was.
You know, his
what
fabrics
it
are
was.
really interesting. He
One of my
experiments
favourites.
with
I love
fabrics
that.
That's
a
one of my
lot.
favourites.
Fabulous that.
I want that. Can anyone get it for me
But
now?
the shape.
Right now, it'll be delivered before you leave.
Right now.
No,
I see
that's great.
Mark Ronson wearing a bit of this, don't you as well?
No, I see Tafari.
Right,
wearing some
okay.
of this. Sorry.
See if they do personal orders.
Yes. It's me, darling. That's cool. It's really cool. Did anyone see the Versace show?
No, but I'm told it was terrific. I'm told that it was absolutely fabulous.
Well,
In terms of Versace,
Yeah.
did you see it?
No, I mean I saw the pictures, but just
Seemed outrageous.
full on fluoro Versace.
Yes, outrageous.
but I enjoy this more. You see,
well, this is more reality, isn't it?
That's cool, isn't it?
That's
I
a
like the
lovely
way
look.
that's really,
That's
really
a lovely
cool.
look.
Really,
really cool. Again, look at that.
Is that are they wearing? Is that the zipper looks
think
like a
that's the
Belcher,
zip-
a
a
Belcher
yeah,
thing?
Yeah. I think the zip's a T.
That's very Kim Jones, no? That kind of like sporty,
yeah,
and look, he
absolutely.
put that into really high-end fashion and make it look really cool.
I'd like to see those shoes closer as well. Those
Yeah, me
trainers.
too.
We haven't got close-ups on the shoes.
No.
Have we seen one shirt and tie? We haven't, have we? Everything's been open with a neckerchief.
Yeah,
Or bow
Or
tie.
layered, or bow
That's what it is,
tie. There's
neckerchief.
been no
Actually,
classic
it's the point,
ties
we
at
haven't
all.
seen shirts.
We have the bow tie, which you hated. No?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did.
That's nice too. Really.
It's only because you don't know how to tie one. That's what it is.
I hate it when men's magazines write how to tie a bow tie in 150 words. I've turned off.
Why?
I'm so bored of all that rubbish. It's a really dated way to talk about menswear. Sorry, I've got that off my chest as well.
Well, there's either a right way or there's a wrong way, and the right way isn't dated.
Yeah, but I mean, I look elsewhere for things like that, not a men's fashion magazine.
We don't want to go down into that road, thank you.
Those shirts are really cool.
Is
That's
that
a
is
nice
that like a
big
smock?
one,
Is
isn't
that a
it?
smock?
Really
Very,
nice.
yes.
That's kind of like the Healy
Imagine
thing.
that. Yeah, imagine that on a really
No,
hot day.
could you not see David Cameron in something like that?
No.
He'd
No,
tuck
I've
it
got-
in though, wouldn't he?
Yes,
He'd
he
tuck
would.
it right in the belt round its
Yeah.
braces over the
With
top.
Samantha next to him wearing the bag, carrying the bag. Right?
Oh, I love
That's
that.
it, that's
That's
it,
amazing.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is really.
No, I'll wear the
That's
top.
really
I would
see.
totally.
That's
rock
quite
Yeah.
your era, Jeremy, isn't it? That's quite
Yes.
shoom.
I would wear that, yeah.
I would totally wear that.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's about
It
88
looks like
to
that
89.
it's like hippie fabric.
That's
doesn't it?
right.
Yeah.
It's diaphanous.
Yeah.
So the show before this was all reference to Bhutan, was it? Because I didn't. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
it was Himalayas, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
he went there. Yeah. So we've still not fathomed where he went for this.
He
Well, he
went.
put-
I know
I think
exactly
he-
where he
Well,
went.
we were all trying to guess, weren't we? And
Yeah.
You
he
know
didn't
where
go
he went.
anywhere.
No,
That
no.
was the thing.
New York.
I know
Or
exactly
he went
where
to
he
vintage shops.
It was
maybe.
a staycation.
Yeah.
He went to 50s GQ America.
Yes.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
For
But-
all of those suits.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing he didn't give them was hats, which is what you would find if you saw the drawings in 50s GQ.
It's yeah.
That's another mate of mine. Yeah.
The sunglasses sell well, and they're good shapes.
What sort of price are they? I bet they're very expensive.
Two, three, something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, because I know. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you're our very own Anna Winter in the sunglasses. Fabulous. Have we exhausted all material, do you think, Colin?
Well, I think that we've probably seen the best of it. I think this is all a bit banal, to be honest, after what we've seen earlier.
Very American. Really American.
I think it's difficult. Okay,
This is nicer.
as a designer, speaking to a global market is a very big ask. So the Chinese buy so-and-so, the Americans buy so-and-so,
Oh, sure.
Indians are looking for X, Europeans are looking for
Yeah.
Y. I mean, to get all those shapes, because this is an international collection, an
absolutely.
international
True.
brand,
Yeah.
I think it's a big ask. But he does it, I think there's a comprehensive global wardrobe here. And there's a wardrobe for the man who has
that the
business
website?
meetings.
That's
Is that a
great.
jumpsuit?
That is
That's a
amazing.
great
Yeah.
look,
So we should go
actually.
back on that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
That
super
is
look.
amazing.
Is it a
Jumpsuit,
jumpsuit?
isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
I think it might
I
be.
think it's a shirt.
Or it could be shirt and
I
trousers.
It's
think
really
that's
nice. And the trouser cuff rolled up at
Are
the
you
end.
pining for a onesie?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got.
I think Kim would probably make the first international high fashion in onesie, wouldn't he?
There's a few of them knocking about this season.
That's really cool.
The thing is, he's got the right shape. For
It's the
his
shape.
style.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's absolutely the right guy to wear that.
Pointy shoe, where we've seen round toes and spoon toes for the last 3-4 years. Pointy toe, which we saw at Prada, and now we're seeing it at Vuitton. That's when menswear moves, it doesn't move that much, but when it moves like that, it's important, and the trade will be on it like a shot.
Yeah, for the very reason
Yeah.
that it doesn't move very quickly, so it's going to be around for a long
Yeah,
time. So
exactly. When it's
everyone
subtle,
thinks we can
we
mix
see
this
it, and then the market moves.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that probably we've seen what we want to see, and we're all saying pretty well.
I thought it was
certainly,
great.
that we like
Congratulations,
it.
Kim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like it.
Good.
I really like it.
Well done, Kim. This has got nothing to do with the fact that we're British, of course. It's just because he's very, very good.
Yeah.
And thank you very much indeed for watching, and we'll see you again soon, I hope.